We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, under the stars.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of 2 Cents Plus, and today we're going to talk about some more blatant censorship in video games. Now, this particular incident I don't really care all that much about, but I thought it was pretty interesting considering the context and the game that we're talking about. But prison survival game Scum no longer includes neo-Nazi tattoos. Now, from what I've read, Scum is about, it's like a survival game with prisoners or whatever, and obviously if you've watched any prison show ever, there are neo-Nazis there. Who knew? Bad people go to prison. Holy shit, what a concept. But they aren't allowed to exist in this world, or at least they are, just their tattoos aren't. So they remove the tattoos from the character because obviously we don't want our prisoners who are representative of a certain group to actually be representative of a certain group. By the way, this game has a lot of violence and killing and beating people and shooting people to death, which is fine. That's cool. Killing people and, and surviving and all that shit by killing others and shit like that, all that's cool. You stab a dude in the fucking head with an axe, fine, but is that a neo-Nazi tattoo? Oh no, this game is too violent. It's too much. Tattoos are way worse than actual violence. But anyway, days after prisoner survival game Scum came out in Steam Early Access, players discovered their criminal characters, let's highlight that, could be given Nazi-related tattoos. Today, the publisher, Devolver Digital, scrubbed the customization option from the title and then apologized, because of course they did. They prostrated themselves and said, "Oh my god, we're so sorry that we accurately depicted the horrible people that are found in these prisons. Stupid us." They don't do that on the TV shows, by the way. Squishy watches a fuck ton of prison shows a day, and there are neo-Nazis and all types of racist people in these prison cells. And as a matter of fact, in 90% of the prisons on every show that she's ever watched, they're all segregated by race. Every single one of them. They're all 100% segregated by race. The blacks hate the whites hate the blacks, and the fucking Mexicans, they are all separated. But they are able to show that on TV. We can't have that in our video games, though. Reality has no place in our video games. We can't do that. Players on Reddit and Steam noticed that the Scum Supporter Pack DLC included content with the numbers 14 and 88, well-known neo-Nazi references. Another tattoo included a cross and skull, which while not as nearly controversial as the Nazi swastika, is still used by neo-Nazis. Boy, oh boy, I hope neo-Nazis don't start drinking coffee or doing anything basic normal people do, because it's not as controversial, but they do it too now, so we gotta cut that out from anything. If neo-Nazis do it or engage in it or have a tattoo on their bodies that looks like it, then it is now completely a part of them, and we need to get rid of it, which makes Iron Cross and skulls, which, while not nearly as controversial as a Nazi swastika, is still used by neo-Nazis, Polygon report. Of course, Polygon reported that. All had been removed from the games as of this morning. So here's the picture. These are the tattoos right there. They're gone now because murdering people brutally throughout this game is fine, but this, unacceptable. This can't happen. That's way too much. People will die in their houses. They'll literally die on their couches if they see something like this. That'll hurt them so bad. While these tattoos fit the game's lore, every player is a prisoner and convicted of serious crimes, and neo-Nazi tattoos aren't unknown in prison populations. They upset some players. Predictably, others on Reddit and Steam forums argue that these symbols fit the fiction, but it seems that Nazi imagery was too too hot button for the developer team created the game to ignore, the publisher provided this statement to Polygon. Devolver Digital has become aware of the tattoos representing neo-Nazi symbology in the new release prison survival simulation game Scum. We do not agree with this, with use of this symbology or any hateful content, except for the killing and murdering of other people, which is not hateful at all. There's nothing hateful about a dude walking around with a fucking axe covered in blood and a gun in his hand. Nothing hateful about that. But these tattoos, that's unacceptable. We're sorry about that. Regardless of intention, this is important, guys. It's 2018. What your intention was is totally and 100% irrelevant. The fact that somebody's feelings got hurt is more important than what you intended to do or historical accuracy or whatever the issue may be. Now, this only works one way, by the way. If I was to say, hey, I'm offended that you took it away, then they're like, we don't give a fuck about you being offended, customer who actually purchases the game and plays it. But that one person over there, they're offended, and their offense matters, not yours. We don't care what you are offended by, because you're on the wrong side of history. We should not offend anyone. We should live in a world where nobody should be offended except you, because we don't agree with you. Isn't it interesting? We want to bring a safe environment to everyone except for this entire subset of people. We fight for the equality and the acknowledgement of everybody, so everyone can have a fun experience in this game, except this entire subset of people. Everyone except you guys. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, the use of the tattoo was intended to assist in portraying a realistic element of the prison culture and the horrid elements within it. Well, that's wrong. You're not allowed to do that. This content has been patched out of this morning. The developers as of this morning, and Devolver Digital are currently conducting a full review of all assets in the current game with game spires. Now, I wonder if there are any characters that aren't white that have tattoos that represent any gangs that are predominantly not white that are still in the game. That would be interesting to see. I'd like to see if any tattoos from any black or Mexican gangs or anything are still in the game. Well, those would be okay, though, because they're not representative of white people. But anyway, we strongly condemn any and all use of hateful symbology in our games and agree that it should have never been in the game, regardless of creative intent or realism. Regardless of creative intent or realism, it is unacceptable, no matter what. Developer... I keep saying Developer Digital. Devolver Digital apologizes unreservedly. While Scum developers at Croatia-based studio GameSpires gave this statement to Polygon, recently we patched out content from Scum that included neo-Nazi symbols. Our intention was to create an atmosphere of the worst criminals in Scum, and to portray the horrible type of people who would find themselves in a fight to the death situation for a futuristic reality show where the worst criminals are pitted against each other. Well, if you erase them from history, then they just magically disappear and they don't exist anymore. Just take off the symbolism and pretend that they don't exist, and then that'll make everyone happy, and then all the neo-Nazis in the world will just vanish. Whatever. It's fine. Since our initial response on the forums, we've discussed this as a team and with our publisher and agree wholeheartedly that this content was unnecessary, should not have been included, and have removed it. We apologize for this misstep and promise our fans that we will take more caution in our approach moving forward. In other words, we will pussify every game that we put out and make sure that they cater to your bitch-made sensibilities, because we wouldn't want to offend anyone, except for a whole another subset of people. Just you specific people. We only care about what you specifically think or feel. But if anybody else has a problem with this, then fuck them. That's basically what that means. This is a black eye for the developer. This is a bit of a black eye for the developer, which tweeted out that Scum's launch was the biggest ever. I don't think so. It's more of a black eye that they removed it than anything, but whatever. The scrappy indie publishing house has released an off-kilter and hyper-violent games, like My Friend Pedro and Genital Jousting, respectively, and is known for making swings at AAA gaming at every E3, lambasting the industry while portraying itself as a perennial underdog. But neo-Nazi imagery has become intolerable material at all levels of gaming. Last fall, Bungie swiftly removed icons of a piece of armor in Destiny that bore resemblance of a hate symbol. I'm using quotes there because it wasn't the hate symbol that it bore resemblance to, but who cares? It offended somebody. I don't know, man. I think it's interesting overall that we live in a culture where if actual gamers, people who've been playing games from the very beginning, have a genuine criticism about a game, they're like, these fucking man babies are crying and need to get out of here and make room for us because we're taking over now and nobody cares about your stupid complaints and blah 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 blah. But the moment one person is offended by something like this, the entire industry has to change in order to cater to them. But if we have genuine concerns about a game that is genuinely bad based on its design, gameplay, and overall presentation, those are irrelevant. But somebody getting upset in a game where you fucking murder people in a death match on an island full of prisoners, the tattoos are representative of tattoos that prisoners would have, then the entire game needs to change. We got to shut it all down, and we need to change it for them. Actual criticisms, though, fuck those man babies. They're just crybabies. We don't give a fuck about what they think, even though they are the ones who are purchasing our games and giving us money so we can create them in the first place. I don't know, man, why this frustrates me so much, because I don't care. I don't give a shit about the tattoos. Like, it's optional. You can put it on your character or you can't. Totally optional. You don't have to. You can if you want to. It's not mandatory, but that doesn't matter. The fact that it exists in the game and somebody on the opposition may like or enjoy it, it has to go. Not, I play this game and I don't appreciate the fact that you can put that stuff on there, so I don't. And I won't. It's, no, this shouldn't exist, period, because nobody should have access to this because I said so and I don't like it. But that only goes one way, like I said. If I was just like, they need to stop putting easy modes in games because I don't appreciate it. I'm not okay with there being an easy mode in the game. I don't give a fuck if other people want to play the game on an easier mode. Even though I have nothing to do with it, I won't ever use it myself. I don't want anyone else to have access to it either, because that makes me feel better. But like I said, this only works in one direction. And this is part of the reason why I'm slowly beginning to hate humanity every day. Every day, my hatred for human beings grows, and I just want nothing to do with any of you. But anyway, that is this. Check it out if you want to. I pretty much read the whole thing, so there's pretty much nothing else to see. I'm sure there's more information out there, but let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Sorry, this was kind of a rant, and I know I don't usually put that type of content over on this channel, but it is game related, and it kind of annoyed me, so there you go. It's out there. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you on the next one.